This is a part of an animal that lives in the ocean that is very, very large. And if you guessed that this is the tail of a whale, you are correct. You can see its head and its open mouth. Its eye is down here under the water, and those are its special teeth. There are some whales with teeth and some with baleen, which is what these teeth are. And there's lots of different kinds of whales. Here you can see them all compared to each other. So the smallest one is a narwhal, which is the unicorn whale. It's about 13 to 15 feet is its size. Then the beluga whale, which is that strange looking white one. Humpback is huge. Sperm whale, incredibly huge. The orcas that you see, if you've ever been to SeaWorld, the black and white ones, are hunting whales, and those are pretty large. The right whale, and then the largest of all here, the blue whale up top, larger than the fin back. So, and it turns out that female whales are actually larger than the male whales, similar to insects. And here you can see compared to different animals and objects. All right, parts of a whale's body. So eyes, obviously, but I like that eyelids without eyelashes. Whales do not, even though they are mammals, don't have eyelashes. Just like fish, they have a dorsal fin in the back. Their tail, the parts that we see coming out of the water in that first picture are called flukes. The fins are actually called flippers. And only certain whales have these ridges, which are called ventral pleats, and baleen, which is those teeth that we saw. That's how they're different from fish. All right, some fun facts about humpback whales. They can weigh up to 40 tons, which is more than 5 elephants. They can migrate up to 10,000 kilometers annually, which is from Sydney in Australia to New Delhi in India. So long ways. Humpback whales are baleen whales, meaning they do not possess teeth. They have those, like, it's that filter system that you saw that are a special kind of tooth that so they can eat all the plankton. Despite being so heavy, humpback whales can breach their full body above the water. That's when they jump out of the water. They eat up to 1.5 tons of food per day. Calves, which are the babies, are born around 3 3/4 to 4.5 meters long. So 1 meter is 3 feet. So you can imagine that's around 12 feet long. Humpback whales pass their songs along to their family pack members. So you can kind of know what family they're from based on their songs. And humpback whales can live up for 45 years. Now, some whales can actually live 100 to 200 years. They can live a really long time. But humpback whales don't live quite as long. They sing for anywhere between 15 minutes to 24 hours. So imagine singing. How would your voice box feel if you sang for all day and all night for 24 hours? Females are the larger. They grow up to be 45 to 50 feet, and the males grow up 40 to 48 feet. All right. Did you know adult blue whales need to eat around 1.5 million calories per day? That's about 5,000 cheeseburgers. So the average adult person needs 2,000. So whales need 1.5 million. That's a lot. All right, now this was a kind of a funny thing that was at a car wash of all places that has just really neat facts about various marine wildlife. Like an octopus has 3 hearts and the color of its blood is blue. There's a lot of weird stuff. But the one that was interesting to me is how loud a blue whale song can be. It's the loudest animal on the whole planet, and at 188 decibels, which is louder than a jet engine. And the one that I thought y'all might enjoy is that when a whale farts, because remember, they have lungs just like people do. They're mammals, so they breathe air. And when they fart, their bubble is as large as big enough to have a whole horse inside of it. I thought y'all might enjoy that. Whale poop maybe helping fight global warming. So sperm whale poop, which sperm whales are some of the largest animals and they love to hang it at the very bottom of the ocean. It provides nutrients to surface swelling phytoplankton that soak up carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So whales are really important to the ecosystem and really important to our Earth and to our atmosphere. Who knew? Giant whales. All right, so here is an artist named Rachel Byler, and she is a watercolor artist. You can see her painting right there. She is a young woman. She just got married. She loves her 4 cats and her German Shepherd. Her favorite is her cats because they like to hang out with her while she's painting. And she's well known for being on Etsy, and she's an American artist. She lives in Pennsylvania. And she is a watercolorist. So she loves to do lots of different kinds of paintings, but really loves to do ocean paintings, especially with whales. And I love her paintings because it shows just how massive they are compared to humans. So here you can see, obviously, this giant whale with a little sailboat up there, and just the huge size difference just kind of makes you feel like, wow, how big whales really are. And her style of watercolor is just beautiful. You can see it even looks so watery the way that she's done it. And another one here, this one actually, if you can see, there's a little girl saying hi to just, if you could just see, that's how much of the whale she can see. But there's the whole whale. And that's just a baby. That's a little bitty one. And another whale compared to an entire huge ship with all the sails. But look at her watercolor style and like different times of day. This one is night. This one looks like, I don't know, is that morning? Is that noon? To me, that feels like morning. What does it feel like to you? There's night with a nice full moon. And no moon right there. Do you think they know that there's a giant whale underneath them? And here's another one with 2 little young orcas, also at night. All right, and so what we are going to be doing is we're going to be combining watercolor with origami. And those of you who have had art with me before have done origami, which is from Japan, and the art of paper folding. And so it's where you take a square piece of paper and you can fold it in all these different ways to create different creatures. So here's just a couple of examples right here of different things. These are both these special origami stars, butterfly, frog. Though that one you can actually like hold the back and let go and it jumps. This one's a paper crane, a flower, another crane, elephant, a different kind of a crane. I mean, there's so many, a crab, swan, airplane. If you've made a paper airplane, you've already been doing origami. So anyway, those are just a few different types of origami. And we are going to be making an origami whale mixed with watercolor, a watercolor ocean where our whale is going to live. So let's get started. You're going to need to get your watercolor paper, and we're going to do a similar artwork where we have a giant whale. It'll be origami at the bottom, then a little ship at the top. So the first thing you need is your ruler and a pencil, and decide where you want your horizon line to be. So the top of the water and the bottom of the sky. And we want it to be pretty close to the top, maybe 2 or 3 inches from the top. And grab your pencil and lightly draw a line from edge to edge of your paper. And then you need to decide on a ship. And here's a few that I have drawn just for you to look at. A sailboat with 2 sails, a sailboat where the sails have been kind of brought down, and then a much bigger ship, kind of, I don't know, it looks like the ships back like the Mayflower and those kinds of ships. All right, so, and you are gonna decide what kind of boat. I mean, you can also do a canoe if you wanted to, whatever you might find on the ocean where whales are. So, and if you want your whale to look big, you want your ship to be really small. If you want your whale to look smaller, you can draw a much bigger ship and then it looks like more like a baby whale. So you need to decide which one. I personally am going to do this ship. I like this ship. And I'm gonna put it kind of right over here. So I'm gonna draw that ship up here and I want it to stay fairly small. I want it to stay fairly small so that my whale looks gigantic. So that's how small my ship is gonna be. And it's got one mast here and a mast in the back. It's got a flag. And then you get to continue however you want. You will be, let's see, it's always got this guy sticking out where the ropes and things all connect. You are going to trace it or outline it and color it in with a skinny Sharpie. So now that I have the basic design in there, hello Sharpie, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and draw and color it in while you guys are drawing and coloring yours in. Once you have yours drawn, I want you to go ahead and erase all the lines that you made for the boat. All right, now we're done with your boat. Now you need to decide if you want it to be daytime or nighttime. I personally like nighttime, so I'm gonna pencil in a nice little moon. It can be a full moon, it can be a partial moon. Maybe I'll make mine a partial moon. Full moon, I don't know. It's kind of up to you. There you go. All right, and we'll just pencil that in so we know where it is. Okay. Now, to get to the painting. Oh, make sure you write your name on there. Why do I always want to forget my name? Okay. Watercolors. And water, of course, and you're gonna want a nice large round brush. And first we're gonna do the water, the ocean down here. Think about the colors of the ocean. You're gonna have cool colors, especially at night, which mine is at night. So I'm gonna stick with this over here. I'm gonna stick with the blues and greens. Some of you might wanna do blues and purples, depending on what kind of ocean you want. So the first thing you're gonna do is with plain water, go ahead and wet the bottom portion of your paper because we are wanting to blend. And blending requires a lot of water. So just use that clear water to get started. Your paper should be pretty shiny where you're working. All right, we're not gonna do the whole page because it'll dry out before we get to the top. And there's always a dog hair here, always. That's the problem with having 3 dogs that like to come in and watch. Okay, so start with your dark color at the bottom, the darker at the bottom, since that is where the deep ocean is. And you can see it's already wanting to spread up, and this is perfect. That's exactly what we want. We want it to start blending. Nice and dark. Load up that brush. And we want it to look watery, so don't worry about it being perfect. Imperfection here is good. All right, and you can work on to the next lighter color and start letting them kind of marry these colors together. Okay. We don't have to worry about a whale because the whale will be origami. All right, I'm gonna add some more clear water so that this can continue to float up. All right, clear water. And if you accidentally drop some down here, that is totally fine. That's an even neater look. All right, continuing with my colors, with my blues. Maybe we'll throw in some teal in here. Maybe also some green, since I was gonna go with some green. Let those mix, the blues and greens mix together. Some more green down here in the bottom. And just smear it around. As you get closer to the top, where your horizon line is, you need to slow it down and make sure to stay right underneath that horizon line. Don't go into the sky. Stay right under. All right, down here is interesting, up here is kind of boring, so let's bring a little bit of life into here, shall we? And with this water line going up to there, no matter how it spreads, it'll stay within the water. It won't go up into your sky. So you have control a little bit here, how far it goes. All right, I'm really liking this green, what it's doing, so I'm gonna do some more green over here. All right, and for this, the focus is the size difference, right? Your giant whale versus this little ship. So don't go in and add other little creatures that live down here, please. This isn't your time to add jellyfish and shark, which would be neat in some other pieces of art, but not particularly for this. This down here is too purple for me since I'm going in the purple and the blues and greens. So I'm gonna put some green down in there. Continue some more teal. All right, and since I have a nighttime sky, to me this reads daytime. So I want, if yours is doing that, depending on what you want, add how dark or how light of color you want for your own liking. All right, have it be a little bit wavy. There we go. Drop, drop, drop. Okay, once that is the way you personally would like it, you're gonna set it aside and we are gonna work on the origami whale. If you would like, before you set it aside, to add some salt, I have some sea salt here. You can always sprinkle a little bit of salt and you get that interesting texture happening that a lot of people like. Some people don't, but the way it works is that the salt soaks up the water that's right next to it. And as it soaks up water, it also soaks up the paint with it. And so then you get all these little spots left. All right, so I like this ocean. We are going to set it aside and then work on the origami. Ooh, nice and carefully. Set it over here. Don't need this ruler. All right, and then wipe this guy down. We don't need our watercolors anymore. We'll come back to them because of course we still have our sky to do. But if we did the sky right now, it would just interfere with the ocean. All right, next you're gonna need a piece of white printer paper and scissors. So we need a square. Origami is made out of a square piece of paper. We're gonna make our whale. And the easiest way to get a square is to take your top corner and line up this top edge with the side. So you're making like a giant triangle, and you wanna make sure it's lined up really nicely, and then fold it. And then with your scissors, see this rectangle that's left over? You're gonna cut right along that line. And as if by magic, so this is now trash, you have a square. Perfect for origami. All right, so in order to make your whale, you already have the first step done, which is to fold if you turn it into a diamond, fold it down. So you have a diagonal and fold it again. I'm going to continue the rest without talking and turn up the music for you, and you follow along. now, if you were to place this on here, you can see how big that whale is on there. I'm gonna let this dry and come back when the ocean part is dry and we can start on the sky. Okay, so now this is all nice and dry. I'm gonna get the salt off. And you can see what it's kind of done. It's added a little bit of fun texture to it. All right, now we're ready for the sky. So there's two ways you can do this. One way is, since I'm doing a nighttime sky, I wanted to make it have stars. So you can use a white crayon or a yellow crayon, light blue, I don't know, light color crayon that you want your stars to be and your moon to be, or oil pastel, and use it as a barrier so that you don't get watercolor there. And I am going to go ahead and do that. And just a nice smattering of stars all over. Nice big sky. Whew. I suppose you could add some interesting shooting stars or something if you'd like. We'll add one, see what it does. All right. And now that I've got, I don't know if you can see that very well, but you can kind of see my oil pastel on there. Okay. And then back to watercolor up in my sky. And I'm going to go into the blacks and blues, maybe some purples, because I'm pretty sure with this palette, my black is actually on the brown side. So let's see. Oh, it's actually kind of on the black side. Excellent. So you can see as I am painting that the oil pastel is popping right through. I'm doing a similar treatment as I did on the ocean, where I'm painting the parts that I want to be sky with water. And a lot of artists, in order to achieve kind of some balance, will get the corners darker than the center, because it achieves kind of a neat look. Gives it some visual weight for your eye to stop as you're looking at the painting. Maybe I'll do a little shot of blue in here to kind of tie it to the ocean. Shot of bluey purple. Okay. Oh yeah. And let those colors marry again. Blend a little. There we go. The darker I make it, the more those stars show up for me too. And then your eye kind of automatically turns these spaces into maybe clouds or the Milky Way, the atmosphere doing something interesting. I get those corners, build up the color in there, the pigment. Okay. And then the last step is to get your Origami Whale and find the position you like. Mine is going this way because it's looking up at that ship. And then glue it on and let the rest of that dry. You can, if you've noticed, the oil pastel right here has quite a lot of paint on it, so I'm just gonna clean it off with just a dry brush. There you go, so you can see that moon a little better. And then grab some glue, maybe glue your whale down a little bit. You can curl the fin a little, get this tail to fall the way you'd like it to fall. Want this tail to glue down so that it doesn't really come up. Take some of that glue, glue that guy down. And put glue along the edge. Little dots of glue, little lines of glue. And set it. And that is it. You have your giant whale staring up at this little ship now.